Welcome to the morning show. Hey, to the morning show, baby. Listen, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, we got to talk about something. Today, Monday, baby. Red hot news. We in the building. We got to make it make sense, people. You hear me? Now, listen to me. For everybody that's on the highways, the byways, and the triways, jumping into the flyways, please be safe on your destination. Like my Uncle Red Pill always say, there's somebody somewhere out there who loves you, and it's your family, baby. We got to make it make sense, people. Now, let's talk about something here. Red hot news today. Well, we're going to start here. We got to start here. Well, what you mean, my Uncle Red Pill? We got to start here. You know what I'm talking about? Let me show you what we're talking about today.
Bill Barajas. We begin with a story that's all new at 10 tonight. City officials say management and staff abandoned vulnerable residents in their time of need.
Now listen to me. This is in Houston, baby. Houston. Ooh, child. This Houston. What? Yeah, that storm over there. Got them all them elderly people. Management, everybody abandoned them.
Mayor Whitmire gave us a tour of the Independence Hall apartments on the city's north side. That's where we find KPRC2's Gage Golding with just how bad those conditions are.
Deplorable, disgusting, and downright unsafe conditions. That's what we saw here today. And the sad thing is, many of those folks, they're going to be spending another night in those conditions because there's simply nowhere for them to go. More than 200 apartments full of seniors and disabled residents that say they were left high and dry.
The management didn't do nothing by it. They wouldn't come out. And they wouldn't come out to see nobody or nothing.
Residents of the Independence Hall rejoicing at the sight of dozens of Houston police officers and firefighters. Finally, help has arrived after the management here left them following Thursday's severe weather outbreak.
There was people sitting outside trying to keep cool, nothing to eat, no place out of the elements. And so it was a dire situation for them.
Houston Mayor John Whitmire showing us one of the most concerning rooms. Thursday's tornado and straight line winds, though, only adding to a growing problem.
This is not just from the storm. The units, 260 of them, have been neglected for years. You have an absentee owner placing a manager that doesn't have the resources to address these life safety issues.
Did they do anything to help you? They bring you ice? They bring you...
No food, no ice, no.
Just left them people hanging, you heard me? Just rolled out. They got to go with their family, done. We get them people money every month. What we doing?
Nothing. You need to come and see about us. You want your rent money. We want to live better than where we living.
The facility was already flagged by the city for improper permits. This red tag here on the front door dating back to April for electrical repairs without a permit. Now the mayor says he's going after the owners.
We're discussing with HPD the criminal neglect, abandonment of the owner and leave people living in these conditions.
Now we do know the Houston Fire Department did take 2 of the residents that live here to the hospital, and a bit of reprieve and good news for the folks that will be living here for the foreseeable future. As you can see, CenterPoint Energy, they got the lights turned back on. Mayor Whitmire saying once he caught wind of this, he called up CenterPoint and they finally got those lights turned back on. Now, I asked for the management. I tried to call them and email them. We still haven't heard a response. In the north side, Gage Golding, KPRC2 News.
Listen to my people. Getting old, ooh, child, she look different. Now, they left them people that storm going on. We had something like that happen down here in New Orleans before. When I think it was called St. Rita's. I believe that's what it was. When we had the hurricane came through. It was actually Hurricane Katrina, to be real with you. And a lot of people lost their lives, you know, in that situation with the staff and the owners, and nobody got the people out of there. And those people, you know, they passed away in a situation like that. So I'm glad Houston trying to do something about this situation right now. Got to step on this situation because people taking people money and don't care about their life. Right, those older people. I mean, their family. And you say, well, why their family ain't come get them? Well, they're in the place already that people supposed to be looking after them. So it makes sense why the family don't come get them. I mean, let's be real. They're supposed to already be safe. But now, this next thing I want to show you, BB, I'm going to touch on something right here. You know, I always tell you about the world news, the things that we're not paying attention to, the things we need to start paying attention to. You know, well, we had some stuff that happened over the weekend. and it might just, you know, strike World War III, 4, 5, and every other war. Let's go.
Also including what's going on between Hezbollah and Israel there in the north. Let's bring in David Dowd, senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, to discuss all of it. Thank you so much.
This is Iran. This is Israel. I'm walking you overseas. Why? You're going to see in a minute. There's something that's devastating that happened over the weekend, mysteriously. And let's pay attention.
As always, for taking the time to be here with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so first off, I want to talk about a Times of Israel report saying that it appears Hezbollah has, quote, advanced Iranian anti-aircraft missiles.
So Hezbollah, right, is over there with Israel. They are enemies of Israel. In some kind of way, they was getting these mysterious, missiles, high power technology missiles that they don't really have money, technology for, the capabilities to produce them. And so Israel is saying, well, how are they getting these weapons? Well, they come from Iran. Now, listen to me, my people. I want to break this down so you can see this here. I'm going to take you across the world because what we got over here, baby, they just telling you a little bit, but I need you to get it all. Right? So Iran is supporting these countries. Hezbollah, all right, in Gaza, equipping them with weapons. Iran. Now pay attention. Let's go.
What exactly does that mean, and what would be the significance of that?
Look, I mean, Hezbollah has, since its inception, been trying to advance its capabilities against Israel's conventionally superior military. We've seen these types of advances and the types of weapons they're bringing into the battlefield currently. Israel's main edge over Hezbollah from the outset of the conflict has always been its air force. This is something that Hezbollah neither has the means, the capabilities, nor the doctrine to match. But what they can do, at the very least, is to try to get weapons that can complicate Israel's, as of now, unfettered air superiority over Lebanon. That's probably what we're seeing some of right now. An attempt, perhaps not to be able to down, say, the F-15s or F-35s that are operating over Lebanon, but to make that job of targeting more complicated, to give those Israeli pilots something else to think about beyond just the targets that they're attempting to strike. Will they be able to match the F-35s? From what I've seen on the reports of those missiles, they don't seem to be at the level of sophistication to bring down Israel's jets, which have also been equipped for decades with their own electronic warfare defense systems. So I don't necessarily view this as an overwhelming or a kind of a game-changing threat to Israel's unchallenged air superiority over Lebanon, but it is a complication.
We did get a report from the IDF on Friday saying that
Good morning, Central BB.
About 75 rockets had been fired by Hezbollah into northern Israel. Most of them, of course, intercepted there by the Iron Dome. I believe 2 injuries reported there. Does it appear that the attacks are overall intensifying, or have they always been this intense over the past several months?
So Israel is at war with Hezbollah, okay, Gaza, and also Iran. Now listen, that's our allies. Now the reason why I'm breaking this down, you're going to see in a minute, because there was some breaking news that just happened, people, and it can be a nightmare for another world war coming real soon. Let's go.
Look, there have been punctuations of intensification, I guess is the best way to put it, over the past 7 months. They seem to coincide with a colleague of mine and I are tracking the deepening of the Israeli involvement in Gaza, and coupled with any tensions between the United States and Israel. These two factors, whenever they operate, seem to give Hezbollah room to think it has more leeway to operate against the Israelis. There have also been, kind of within the rules of the game of the current conflict, there have been perhaps not actions by one side or another that have crossed the ongoing red lines, but have hit right up to them, demanding kind of a more intense response from one side or the other. So we've seen over the past 7 months, Hezbollah has fired barrages of maybe 60-something rockets at a time. What we've seen, however, over the past 10 days is an intensification, not just of the number of rockets, but of the frequency of these attacks. We saw one attack.
Okay, so now listen to me now. Now I'm gonna give it, baby. Now I'm about to wake you up, but what's really real? What my Uncle Ray Pill getting at? Okay, now listen to me, my
News
people.
agencies said
I want you to understand right now. Iran president killed, unalived in a helicopter crash, along with the prime minister. You hear that?
the president, Ibrahim Raisi, and the country's foreign minister have been killed in a helicopter crash. Arabic news channel Al Alam, broadcasting from Iran, reports all.
You know, it just had some technical difficulties. It just went down. Iran backs Hezbollah, Gaza, U.S., Israel, France. We are at war with those people. Overnight, this happened. Hit the mountains. Bad weather, you know, that happened. Let's go, people. Pay attention. Wake up. It's a little different now.
9 people on board the crashed helicopter are dead. Emergency crews earlier reported seeing wreckage after hours of complicated search efforts. Our Dubai bureau chief, Dana Khresh, joins us for the latest. Dana, a very complex search mission happened throughout the course of the
What's up, Tyler, baby?
night, and it wasn't until about 2 hours ago that the Red Crescent located the crash site. Not until about half an hour ago that they confirmed that indeed the president was amongst those who were killed in the crash. A huge moment for Iran and for the region.
Yes, it is. And today we saw Press TV, which is an Iranian television channel, broadcasting images from East Azerbaijan, where they are live, showing one cleric was sobbing on the phone, crying, and one of the anchors saying it is a very difficult day for the Islamic Republic of Iran, describing them as both Raisi and Amir Abdulrahman as servants of the state. So TV channels are in mourning, definitely, and we are now waiting for the announcement to see what would come next in government, that is, what would happen afterwards. And the likelihood is that the Iranian vice president will take over, and he will rule for 50 days until they announce new elections, new presidential elections.
Of course, it seems like it's going to be ultimately the supreme leader's decision, as it always is.
Wow.
Let me just ask you what this may mean, what implications it could have on Iranian foreign policy, because that is the major concern right now.
Right. I would say very limited. Iran's foreign policy, as you said, is set by the supreme leader, and this is an agenda that has been set for decades now, be it Iran's relationship with Israel, and we saw the rockets fired from Iran towards Israel for the...
You heard it? Rockets fired from Iran to Israel. Now listen to me, my people. The helicopter just went down. You know, it just went down. You know, we're gonna see how this, go over at the end of the day. The president and the prime minister. BB.
First time in its history, and even with the Iran's rapprochement with Saudi and the rest of the region. This has been helmed by Raisi and the foreign minister as well, but this won't change, and I think they will continue to do that because this kind of became in the benefit of them. Now, with Raisi and Amir Abdulrahman, I think that they may not have been very successful in reviving nuclear talks to ease sanctions on Iran, but even with U.S. policy and the rest, I doubt anything would change with regards to that.
I do think it was interesting that even before the Red Crescent had actually located the site of the crash, the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei said the Iranian nation should not be worried or anxious, as no disruption will occur to our country's affairs. So he called on the public to pray for those on board the helicopter, but was also reminding the public that at the end of the day, he is still the supreme leader, and so they should not expect too much disruption to occur. That's significant.
Now listen to me, my people. Listen to me, my Uncle Red Pill, baby. Listen to me now. What I showed you just now was the prime minister and the president of Iran. Okay? Over. Mysteriously, helicopter, go down. Now, we don't know what it is. It's under investigation. But we also know they always blame the U.S. and them people don't really care for us like that. All right. And we know that they was at war with Israel and the U.S. And this just happened. So now we got to see what the effects of this would be. Right? China, North Korea. Listen to me. Y'all sending condolences. Russia. You see what I'm talking about? I want you to make this shit make sense, people. Right? We're inching closer and closer to war. I've been telling you this, BB, for a minute. I know it's Monday, but wake up, people. It's crazy out here. You know, and on top of that, you see, we're sending weapons still to Israel. I need you to wake up, my people. We got to make this shit make sense. This is the real deal. It's not a game. No, it's real. It is all the way in real life. Now I'm gonna show you something else, baby. We're gonna keep it going down. And we're gonna keep it popping. This night we're gonna go live, but we're gonna talk about that relationship to like, you know what I'm saying? But right now, we're talking about the news. I want to put you on what's really going on and what's to come from this situation in the future. You got me? I will keep you informed. Now, this next video, my people, you know, I'm starting to love this little judge here. I mean, BB. I mean, he hold a lot down. He said, oh, the judge. Yeah, the judge. I like how he handles business. Let go.
Patience and forces the district attorney to sit down at the end. A couple weeks ago, you said to us, please flag things in advance. I took
this is not in advance. I'm going to ask the state their issue on this. Are you?
And this man and this judge is holding the law up against everybody, not being lenient like a lot of judges do. You know, and when it comes to the state trying to bamboozle a railroad somebody in court. You see, they always be on the side of the state, but you're supposed to protect and serve the people too. We're supposed to have the equal opportunity, just like those attorneys when we step into the courtroom. And I believe this judge right here is really upholding the law the way it should be, right? Because they're always trying to pull a fast one. Now pay attention. Let me start this over, right? The judge told them in this situation, all right, that make sure you send information to me before that so we can actually give the plaintiffs, you know what I'm saying, the defense team, right, the opportunity to look at this information. But what they do, they try to give them the information the day of, the morning of. This shit happens all the time to people when they go in court. If anybody know anything with Mongo Arabia talking about, BB, them courtrooms ain't right. But when there's a judge standing on business, I'm gonna have to highlight that shit. Let's go.
The judge loses his patience and forces the district attorney to sit down at the end. A couple weeks ago, you said to us, please flag things in advance. I took
this is not in advance. I'm going to ask the state their issue on this. Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with Mr. Sharp, madam?
We did have discussions
when?
This morning.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because
they had conversations this morning. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? And this just happens all the time in court. For anybody who facing this situation, listen to me. This slick shit happen all the time. But the judge is standing on business. I'm about to, listen to me. You're going to give them people a fair opportunity to defend themselves versus trying to railroad them on some slick shit. And judges normally let this go down. That's why people say our court system is crooked. Because crooked shit like this, they pulling right now, happens all the time, bro. Every day. Let's go.
I told you that this was going to happen.
We reached out to them.
No.
We had no intention. And I would like
but you all should not be identifying this stuff the moment of trial. I am not going to tolerate this any further. Mr. Sharp's got objections to it.
Mr. Sharp can have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection
at
midnight.
And you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Summon our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat.
Listen to me. The judge standing on business, people. You're not playing that little slick shit. That shit was dead, man. Look here. Sit down. We ain't playing that. I told you about this already, but y'all coming back with doing some more crooked stuff in this courtroom, right? I told you, inform them people what's going on versus the day of. That's not informing them. And nor him either. You see? This is what people facing in the courtroom, right? People trying to play mental masturbation or games, right? Don't give you an opportunity to actually get fair treatment in the court of the law. And a lot of judges allow this shit to happen. So I'm happy, and I want to give applause to that judge for standing on business. It's like the second time I showed him. Why? Because the truth is what it is, baby. All this little rigged up game people deal with, man, like, damn, man, the court system. Well, at least you get a little hope in society today, right? Everybody ain't gonna stand on business. because there's a lot of stories about how people get back pay and they'll get kickbacks, and that's a whole nother conversation for another day, my people. But I just want to break this situation down to y'all, and then I want to walk you over here, let you see this other shit that's getting real too. You know, we got these layoffs, they popping. Let's go.
Will be without a job as the city's largest employers announce layoffs. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Julia Thatcher.
And I'm Jeff Herndon. A Spirit spokesperson will not say how many workers will be laid off, but an internal email sent to employees said 400 to 450.
And we do have team coverage tonight. KSN's Derek Lytle is getting response from local government leaders. But first, we begin with Jackie Elson live outside of Spirit. And Jackie, what do you know about the workforce reduction?
Jeff, Julia, Spirit Aerosystems is being tight-lipped on the details about these layoffs. A spokesperson for the company said they have to reduce the workforce in Wichita because of, quote, the recent slowdown in the delivery rate on commercial programs. The company plans to let the affected employees know in the coming weeks. A machinist union member confirmed with me the number of up to 450 employees, but it's not clear if many of those are union workers. They hope to get details next week. Spirit reported a more than $600 million loss in the first quarter of 2024 after Boeing slowed production of the 737 amidst quality and safety concerns. I did talk to several workers that were outside here leaving their shift today. They didn't want to go on camera, but they were worried that they won't be laid off. Here for you, Jackie Elson, KSN News 3.
Now, Spirit is the largest employer in Wichita. The company's CEO said earlier this month they employ 12,500 people in Wichita. So this layoff would affect about 3.5% of its workforce.
And in the first quarter of the year, Spirit brought in a net revenue of $1.7 million, but lost $616.7 million. It blamed the loss on Boeing's slowing 737 production. KSN's Derek Lytle joins us live from Spirit in our team coverage. He spoke to a Sedgwick County commissioner who worked for Boeing for 11 years.
Julia, the Sedgwick County Commissioner Jim House says that it's a negative and somber day.
I listen to me, my people. If you don't know what they're talking about that Boeing, you know, they had this airplane keep on having problems, motor, and a whole lot of other situations. You got what I'm saying, right? Catching a fire. Yeah, so y'all got to be careful when you're catching these planes today because they've been having whistleblowers. I should have showed you that too, you know. But whistleblowers been talking about how they're not actually keeping up with these planes. So you're putting your life at risk because these people is not really doing what they need to do to keep these planes in tip-top shapes. And the Boeing plane has been repeatedly having problems. You see what I'm saying? So for who those don't know, you know, you need to pay attention before you get on them planes. You know what I mean? And understand what's really going on out here because when money's short, everything's short. Right? Which means employees. The thing that people used to do to make this shit make sense, they got cut jobs, which means that they can actually be putting you at risk more. So now this company here who supply them with the stuff that they need to create planes, it's a problem. Let's go.
For not only Sedgwick County, but the employees laid off by Spirit Aerosystems. He said this layoff is a big enough move that there could be a negative impact seen on the community and the economy in Wichita. Now, Wichita has seen the aviation roller coaster for decades, but Howell said that Spirit Aerosystems has been extremely stable as an employer, not seeing layoffs like this in quite some time. He says the biggest negative impact could be that the employees laid off, many high-skilled, could choose to move states to North Carolina, Georgia, or California for similar employment opportunities, adding Wichita will take a hit from this move.
Wow. Very difficult news today to hear this. This community will have an impact because every one of these jobs has, 3 or 4, even maybe sometimes in some cases 5 jobs in the community that are impacted by the flowing of those dollars through this economy. So it's going to have a ripple effect, if you will.
Howell said the laid-off employees do have other local options with similar positions like Textron Aviation. He says while it's a scary moment, he does believe the aviation industry is in a good spot moving forward. Now, coming up at 10 tonight, I'll have more of a breakdown on what this move means for Spirit Aerosystems. Here for you in Wichita, Derek Lytle, KSN News 3.
Derek, thank you. These layoffs come as Boeing is in talks to buy Spirit, but Spirit is trying to get rid of its Airbus assets since it is Boeing's competitor. No word on if these layoffs will impact possible deals. We will continue to follow the developments and bring you updates as we get them.
We got to make it make sense, my people. Look, I'm just showing you what it is out here. Look, everything that looks good today, BB. Ooh, Spirit. You see, listen to me. There's gonna be more layoffs going on, you know. And then I gotta keep it a buck with you right now. I'm gonna run it back to you, BB. There's somebody else. These they keep laying people off. It ain't getting better, and I'm gonna tell you why it ain't gonna get better. A lot of people think it's not getting better. We have to drop Wally World back in that deal too. Let's go.
Allison and Brandon, the Wall Street Journal is also reporting that Walmart is set to close some of its offices in various cities, forcing those employees to relocate.
Wally World. Yep. More layoffs. They're coming.
And one of the options they're going to have is right here in Bentonville. An expert I spoke to today says Walmart's future state-of-the-art headquarters is likely a driving force behind these changes. This is the future home of Walmart's new corporate headquarters. The company says on its website that it plans to open the new campus in phases starting in 2025, and it's expected to be able to house.
But we still in 2024. So we got to lay off all those people, then you're going to try to hire people back, hoping that the economy get better. Listen to me, my people. I'm starting to really understand that the only way this economy get better is war. Because we're throwing money at the situation and it ain't getting better. Why it's not getting better? Because of our dollar. You see? Inflation. Jobs laying people off, they can't survive. So when you're riding those planes and you're putting your life in jeopardy now, it ain't what it used to be. You see? They laying people off because of them cuts and them planes having problems. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
The many Walmart employees that choose to move here from other parts of the country.
If anything, this is going to perhaps enhance the growth prospects for the region over the next several months relative to what it otherwise would have been.
This comes as the Wall Street Journal reports that hundreds of corporate positions are impacted by layoffs. The Journal also says offices in Dallas, Atlanta, and Toronto will close, leaving employees with 3 relocation options: Bentonville, Hoboken, New Jersey, or Northern California.
They talked about several hundred roles being cut, but that's pretty small when it comes to 1.6 million workers nationwide. I think the real significance is in the consolidation of their workforce in Bentonville and in person working rather than remote functioning.
The Wall Street Journal says remote employees will have until July to decide whether they want to relocate to one of the 3 hubs or leave the company.
This is certainly not scaling back in order to save the business from disaster. No, this is clearly just a consolidation and a reprioritization of some of their administrative functions.
And our newsroom reached out to Walmart corporate first thing this morning to find out more about these changes. Nearly 12 hours later, and we are still waiting to hear back from them. Live in Bentonville tonight, Chip Scarborough, 4029 News.
Listen to me, my people. We got to make it make sense. Things are different out here. Companies and jobs are laying people off. Why? They don't have the money. They don't have the funds. People not circulating them dollars. When you don't circulate them dollars, that become a problem for our society. You know, and so let me show you exactly what I want to show you right now, BB. What I was talking about, the Boeing situation. We got to make it make sense, people. You see, we got to make it make sense. This was giving them trouble. Brace yourself.
This is an airplane engine. It's sitting in a field in Bishoftu, Ethiopia, part of the wreckage of Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302, which crashed on March 10th, 2019. 157 people died. This was just a few months after another flight, Lion Air 610, crashed in Indonesia and killed 189 people. These 2 flights were operating the same plane, the Boeing 737 MAX 8.
See, that's what they was talking about. Problems. Let's go.
And its engine is the key to understanding why this particular plane has caused so many problems. But there's nothing actually wrong with this engine. In fact, airplane manufacturers raced to put them on their new planes. That's where the problem started.
You see?
The two biggest airplane manufacturers in the world are Airbus and Boeing, and they have a fierce rivalry. If one of them can offer a better plane, the other could lose a lot of money. That's exactly what was about to happen in 2010. Airbus announced that they would update their most popular model, the A320, a single-aisle airplane that services many domestic flights. You've probably been on one. For this new plane, Airbus had a big update. It would have a new kind of engine. It was much larger than the previous engine, but it would make the plane 15% more fuel efficient. And just as importantly, this upgrade wouldn't change the plane that much. A pilot could walk into the new model with little additional training and be on their way. It was called the A320neo, and it would save airlines a lot of money. This was a problem for Boeing. To compete with Airbus, Boeing's obvious move was to upgrade the engine on their single-aisle plane, the 737. But there was one issue. Here's a sketch of the 737 next to the Airbus A320. Notice how the 737 is lower to the ground than the A320. This meant Airbus could slide a new engine under the wing of their A320, but there wasn't enough room under the wing of the Boeing 737. But a few months later, Boeing's product development head had big news. He said, "We figured out a way to get a big enough engine under the wing." Their solution was
So this is where the problem started, my people. You see? Let's go.
To move up the engine on the wing so that it would be slightly higher, and it would fit on their 737s. Here's a promotional video of that updated 737 in the air. You can actually see that the top of the engine is above the wing. Boeing called this model the 737 MAX. And just like Airbus with the A320, Boeing said that their new plane was so similar to its predecessor that pilots would only need minimal additional training. The 737 MAX became the hottest selling plane on the market. And it helped Boeing keep up with Airbus. Except moving the engine up on the 737 had a side effect. When the 737 MAX was in full thrust, like during takeoff, the nose tended to point too far upward, which could lead to a stall. This was a problem because these planes were supposed to behave exactly like
lead to a stall. Pay attention, my people. This is crazy.
The old ones. So Boeing came up with a workaround. Instead of re-engineering the planes, they installed software that automatically pushed the nose downward if the pilot flew the plane at too high of an angle. They called it the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or MCAS.
So they could have fixed their problem, right, by doing some real modifications versus some systems. But they didn't do it. Why? Cost effective. You see? Too busy trying to keep up and putting people's lives at jeopardy while doing it. Listen to me.
Because Boeing was selling the 737 MAX as pretty much the same plane as the 737, they didn't highlight the new MCAS system. Many pilots only got a 2-hour iPad course before entering the cockpit for the first time.
Wow.
And the training material didn't mention the MCAS software.
See? So they were trying to hide it for them people, right? Because they were like, well, why do you need this if it's supposed to be that? See? It wasn't true. They never even told the people about the software that they implemented on those planes. Because see, now those pilots who actually driving those planes don't even know what's going on. So you put the people in life in jeopardy just to save $1. And now this is why Spirit. See, everything is a domino effect, my people. Nothing just don't happen because of just nothing. No, there's a reason behind it, right? The problem is a lot of time you don't be able to get the reason because people keep shit close to the vest and secreting. You know what I mean? So now that is out, right? And now everybody else is going to be affected. Spirit land all people, right? When you have one crisis, and this is the people that you go with, and this is the companies that you're trying to be in competition with, you try to hide all your flaws, even though it's causing more problems. You see? Listen, the pilot and everybody should have been aware of that. But how can you're dropping a plane and you don't even know that they have this going on? So when something go wrong, how are you supposed to respond and react to that? You don't even have all the tools that you need to know to try to make this situation happen. So it caused those planes to crash and have complications. Let's go. Just saying, my people. Crazy.
Many pilots only got a 2-hour iPad course before entering the cockpit for the first time. And the training material didn't mention the MCAS software. In 2018, several American pilots complained to the federal government that the 737 MAX was suddenly nosing down.
You see? They didn't know why, and the people didn't tell them why. It's that software.
On October 29, 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 took off from Jakarta. In the flight report, which shows the plane's altitude over time, you can see that the plane was in full thrust during takeoff. But at a certain point, the nose of the plane kept lurching downward. The pilots couldn't figure out why this was happening. The captain asked the first officer to check the quick reference handbook. They couldn't find the solution. The pilots continued to fight with the MCAS. The plane struggled to gain altitude. Reports show it was likely because the computer was getting incorrect sensor data, pushing the plane toward the earth below. 12 minutes after takeoff, the plane crashed into the Java Sea.
Wow.
In the Ethiopia crash, the report shows that the pilots were actually able to disable the MCAS, but it was too late to overcome the malfunctioning MCAS sensors. For now, nearly every 737 MAX 8 in service has been grounded. And the Federal Aviation Administration is facing scrutiny over how they rushed this plane through certification. Boeing's response has been to apply a software update that makes the MCAS less aggressive, while also saying they'll increase pilot training on how to turn it off. This problem started with the company's race to compete with its rival.
Your life not that important, people. It's all about a dollar. And this is what people need to understand, that these companies out here just trying to be in competition so fast, along with this AI movement. We're not ready for that. What you mean you're not ready for that? What are jobs going? What are people going? You land them all, replacing their jobs. You see, moving too fast and not letting things go through a process and make it so that it actually be truly effective, not looking like that is what it is on the surface, but it's really what it is, period. No perception, real reality. See, not saying your plane is okay when it's really not. Not hiding information that you know can be detrimental to the people that get on those planes and risk their life, thinking that you got their best interests in hand. It's the serious people. Let's go.
It pushed them to pretend like their new plane behaved exactly like their old one, even when it didn't.
Yep, and those people lost their lives. Listen to me, my people. We got to make this shit make sense, my people. I want to show you things like this because you know what? We talking about everything. We're gonna talk about the things that you put your life in jeopardy for. And I want you to understand that if you just a dollar, and if they don't get enough dollars, they cut workers, they cut this and they cut that, and they add things on it to keep costs down, to keep maximizing the dollar. Not trying to show that they have a problem, but yet you just jump into a plane. It's the same thing along with these Tesla cars. You see, anything that's new, you got to give it time to work out. But everybody jump to the gun. Now 60% of the people who actually own those cars don't really want those cars no more. Telling you the truth. You need to pay attention to what's really going on in society. Don't let the world sell you something when that something got a major problems and you put your life in jeopardy by trying to be the first person to ride the wave, and that wave sink you, and then it's over. You know, we got to pay attention to those things like that because we too fast to just want to be the next this and be the next that. Anything that's worth having or lasting, it's going to take time. If it happens overnight, it ain't right. Right? You want to always build. That's in anything you do. You see, you got to allow it to have some flaws. You got to allow it to grow past what it is. But we too anxious to be part of the next movement, and we're moving too fast. And you have things like this that happens. Listen to me, my people. It's just a reality. Marguerite been trying to keep it 100 with you right now. You listen to me. I got to keep it a buck with you, baby. Listen to me. The world we living in today. Now, let me just run this to you right quick. See, tonight, we're going to really talk about something else. But the news, I got to put it on. I want to keep you informed of what's going on. I know a lot of people like, okay, cool. But tonight, we're going to break down why marriages don't really make sense in society. What you mean? Why get married today? We will. This will be the topic tonight, my people. We're going to come on around 7:30 sharp. You got that? Baby. We're going to talk about some stuff that y'all really want to talk about. But I got to give this news to you because I need you to know what's going on. Because this can be this stuff I'm talking to you about. People putting their life in jeopardy every day. Layoffs. War is on the way. It's already happening. Iran president and prime minister unalive. Mysteriously, helicopter crash. Now we're going to see how and what come from this. But I can tell you right now, I don't think it's going to be good. And far as these layoffs go, well, they're still happening. So the stuff that I stood on before, I'm telling you today, control your spending. You got that? Because the job that you may have may not be here long. And you're going to need every last dime you got in your bank account to hold on. Because banks are collapsing too. Everything, nothing has changed. It's only going down. Listen to me, my people. Look, we're going to cut this live short today. I appreciate everybody that came out saying, Trail Tyler, listen to me. We had some people in there. But over there in Rumble, listen to me. This is what this is, baby. This is Monday news. This is the red hot news. I got to tell you what's going on. But see, tonight, we're going to have that real conversation with dialogue. We're going to put some people on that panel. You see? That's what we're going to do. You know? So listen to me. Like I always say, people. Like my Uncle Red Pill always say. Welcome to the morning show. You know why? Because every morning we're going to be back. Right? Keep sending them letters, them videos, them posts. Listen, we in the building, man. I want y'all to be safe out there. Be back here tonight at 7:30, BB. We're going to talk about some real stuff. I got some stuff I want to share with y'all. I really wanted to do it this morning, but we got to get the news in there for those who actually tell me my Uncle Ray, but tell her what's really going on. Because I hate to tell you about the things that's going on in relationships when they got other things that, to me, that's personally like really more important, right? Because relationships is one thing, but the world that we live in and go out and go to work every day is being affected. So I need you to understand that that's a big-ass problem. You know, we need to stay locked in, people. Keep sending them videos, them letters, them posts. You know what it is. I'll be back, baby. It's Monday, people. Wake up. I understand, baby. I slept good last night. For everybody, hey, listen to me like I always say, baby. You hear me? Life is what you make it. What are you making out of yours? Stop jumping to everything so fast and wonder why it's not working out. We need to give it time. Time is undefeated. But if you rush time, it can eliminate your bottom line. Baby, like my Uncle Red Pill always said, people, welcome to the morning show. Hey, to the morning show, baby. Look, thank everybody for coming out, baby. We will be back tonight with that heat. You got that?